Hey, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody had a great week. Yeah, no, there's a lot of earnings happening, and Amazon and Apple, everything just started trending up, and some some didn't beat earnings and things like that. So, one of the reasons why I didn't really make the watch list last week, just because of the earnings. We had all the fangs with earnings season, and just like you can see here, Amazon got smacked down. Apple got smacked down. I think Microsoft pushed up. Google, same thing, kind of pushed up as well, kind of making these all-time highs. So it's one of the reasons why I didn't really come on here, just because it's earnings is more of a gamble thing, and you really can't tell where the direction is going to be when you have a big week of earnings just in general, which causes a lot of volatility in the market, and therefore there's a lot of up and downs in between, and it's kind of hard to find some good swing trades here and there. And it's a structure thing, it's a discipline thing that I like to go by, more of a personal reference. But again, you can definitely make a lot of money after the earnings plays and things like that. Google, I was able to personally trade it myself all the way to the top side here. I didn't really get much of this move, but I did capture some of it, so I was content with that. And then same thing with, I believe Shop was another big name that got earnings. This thing I was able to trade it as well, so um, a lot of good things. And I didn't want to come on here and give some crazy levels and expect some huge movements. So I kind of just stuck to not doing anything and staying away, just because it caused a little more discipline on my behalf. So anyways, with that said, we do have a lot of names that are completed with earnings. We do have a few more this week. We have things like Roku. I think, yeah, Roku has earnings, and there's a couple other more stocks that have earnings, but they're not like big market movers like the FANG stocks, right? So now that we have all that cleared, and we don't have to worry about the bigger movers, I really want to look in for some swings and just kind of focus on a few things here. And it's nothing too crazy, right? So we don't have no major catalysts coming up, at least I don't think. If we do, let me know. Please, it's very helpful. It's always good to know the bigger catalysts that are coming in. And it's always good to stay up to date with the economy shift change and the way that the economy is moving. Gold, I mean, oil, whatever you name it. It's good to stay up to date on a lot of that stuff, right? So with this week's watch list, it's a little different now. As you can see right here on the left of the screen, I do have some airlines. I have the XBI, I have CAT, FDX, MDB, and I also added Facebook. Okay, I think Facebook is going to be the highlight of the week. They are switching to Meta, a new name. It's basically what it is, META. I don't know what the ticker is going to be, but I'm sure you guys can go check it out, right? There's going to be a lot of hype behind this, and because it's changing name, it's going to bring a lot more attention, right? So something with Facebook that you got to realize is that Facebook is a nice platform that everybody uses out there for all types of things. So it's a great resource to have. If you don't have it, consider getting one. If not, that's okay. I personally don't have one. I actually deleted it just a while back when there was a lot of issues with Facebook, and there are some security reasons about information being leaked and things like that. But again, some of that stuff is just a temporary thing. But again, it's a personal thing. But I still think that Facebook platform is still a great platform to have, just for resources and networking and things like that. So because they are changing name, we're not going to have the name Facebook anymore. The ticker symbol is not going to be AFB. It's going to be something else, whatever it is. Please do some research on it. Don't take me for my word on this. So it's very important just to have that knowledge and to know why and how this ticker is going to move. First of all, it's going to be hype, so there's going to be tons of volume. Two, because of the hype, there's going to be aggressive movement. It's going to be either up real big, down real big, or sideways, and then quick pops. And those quick pops are the ones that every trader likes, because they like to grab those weekly contracts and maybe just go something from like the break above, and it's just going to go here real fast within like 5-10 minutes, and then be able to take profits. So you're able to make money off of Facebook like that, right? So the one thing I'm going to watch for is volatility with Facebook. And some of the levels that I'm going to give you here are just based on this little trend here. And just because we did break of trend here, we've been trending here for such a long time, and not a perfect line, but you get the point. And we ended up trending down, and we got some volatility here after the earnings. And then now we got this new hype of, Facebook creating a new name for itself. So it's definitely going to bring in either a lot of buyers or a lot of sellers. It's going to be one of the two, and it's going to be up to you guys to be able to catch that play to the top side or to the downside. So let's look at where we're currently at right now. We're going to use the 310 level as a psychological number. It's going to be a break above or a break below on the 310. I say the 310 because it's a psychological thing, and if we start breaking below 310, most likely people are going to look for this 300. Okay, so we're just going to keep that in mind. We're going to keep that number, the 310. Okay, and then the target to the downside will be about 300, just a psychological thing. This is a just in case we decide to trend down. That's the levels that you should be looking for. Okay, just in case. So what I want to do with Facebook here is I want to make sure we hold our ground basically from right here, the 320, okay? From the 320, I want to see this break above that 325, just a psychological number right here where we kind of wicked out and kind of almost created a candle body right here at the 324. So over that 324 and 325, we're going to look for 330 based off this little base here where we stalled. And from there, we're going to look up into these tops up here. So we're going to look for, what is this? 335, 335.30. And then we're going to go a little higher to that 337.70. And then we're going to look for these tops of 342. Okay. So these are your levels for Facebook. Whatever it decides to trade up in here, we want to wait for a pattern, maybe a base to be created here, a couple more candle bodies in here if we can get some. Again, it's going to be more of a hype thing where I think there's going to be a lot of people coming into this ticker and just wanting to buy it just because it's going to be a new name. And it's going to be considered kind of like a new stock type of thing where it's just going to bring in a lot of hype. So whichever one below 310, below 320, I don't want to consider buying it. If you buy around 320, make sure your stop loss is whatever you can handle on an emotional basis or psychological or P&L wise, whatever. But I want to make sure that we hold 320, and anything above 320 to 324 would be a long play to the top side. And then just look psychologically 330, 335 to 37.50, 340, 342, 342.50, and all the way to the 344. So I'm going to be setting my alerts pre-market once everything opens up. We don't know where we're going to gap up or gap down, whatever the case may be. But make sure you set those alerts and follow through with Facebook. All right. So be aware of the movement of Facebook. I think this is going to be the highlight of the week. So keep track of that. All right. So that's just Facebook. So anyways, back to the market is we're trending all-time high, guys. We legit from these levels from when we said that this was going to base out, we've just been trending ever since. So if you don't know what this is, basically ES just reclaimed its natural trend after coming back down for that pullback where there was a lot of talk of the debt ceiling and a bunch of other stuff that happened on an economic level. There was a lot of pullback. There was aggressive movements. There was huge volume. Volatility was high. The VIX was high. Everything was happening, and some stocks were trending down while others were making all-time highs. And now, as you can see, we're back into its original trend, and we're kind of staircasing pattern to the top. So the trend is your friend. If there's more green than red, then for sure we're looking for calls. If there's more red than green, then for sure we're looking for short-term puts, right? In this case, we hit that 46.03, which is pretty amazing. And from now on, we're going to look for 46.50, 47, 48, 49, and then 5K probably towards December, right? It sounds crazy, but this market, like I said, does whatever the heck it wants. And we still got about 60 more days out of the year, right? 2 more months, November and December. And we're probably going to finish off very, very strong, guys. So be aware that the market is still trending in our favor. Once you're at all-time highs, like I said, we're at 46. So in this case, you will look for 46.10. Once you hit 46.10, you want to look for 46.15, 46.20, 46.25, and 46.30, and so forth, right? That's the way you want to look at all-time highs, all right? For NQ, it's the same thing. We kind of like finally broke out on Friday. We confirmed this. So now what I want to see is a nice little retest and then a push back up into that 16 now. So like I said, everything's psychological. So now you're looking at that 1590 and then 16 and then, so forth, right? So NQ Tech is looking very strong as well after the earnings, after Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Netflix. So Facebook is the one that's kind of behind out of all of them. And everything else is just kind of, trending up. So keep a look out on that for tech, right? The other one I want to point out is RTY. RTY has been setting up on a nice little pattern here on the weekly time frame, right? So I personally am in a leap for IWM for all the way till next year. I bought it here last week. I bought it, right, and then it pulled back. So I'm a little red on my position, but it's not bad just because it's a leap. So I have a little over a year for this. And what I want to see here with the RTY is this literally has to trade above the 2300 level, right? Once we start building candle bodies up here and we start getting some good volume and momentum, it can create a nice breakout to that 24. And not only the 24, but I think it'll continue just because we consolidated basically all year. Like, look at this from 21, right? From 21, we trended all the way to March. From March, we just stayed range all the way till now October. So technically, you're kind of looking at a full year of range trading and creating a pattern at the same time. And now we're finally up here and we're holding. So if this week, one of the biggest things that I can give you, biggest tip to look for is for plug, RUN, run. These two tickers are a big weight in the IWM. The other sector that carries a bigger weight on the RTY is the healthcare. All right, let me just show you a few tickers of the healthcare and how we can use this to our advantage, right? So J&J carries a big weight. Now let's go look at the 4 hour. A big weight. So if J&J can just hold here and start trending and break 166, as you can see, I have tons of alerts there. We should be holding a lot of strength. PFE has earnings. AMC has earnings. It's another holder for IWM. UNH had earnings and now it's trending and making all-time highs. ABBV had earnings as well, and it just topped expectations and everything, whatever it was, and it's now trending right back up. ALGN also had earnings, and then now it's holding the earnings play. So if this thing can hold the 620 all the way to 640 and 660, this thing will show a lot of strength as well. REGN has earnings this week as well. mRNA, same thing, nice little setup right here, and it has earnings this week as well. And then TECH also, this thing has earnings. So the biggest thing to take from this week is to understand that one of the biggest holders for IWM, which is the RTY, okay, it's the strength of the earnings that's going to push through for RTY if we decide to keep on breaking. Not only is the sentiment from the earnings going to help, but it's also going to be the airlines and the financials that are going to be able to carry the RTY to potentially break out. So what do you do in this case? What you want to do is you want to set alerts on all the healthcare sector and make sure that a lot of it's positive and continues to trend up right after earnings, whatever it may be, as long as we can have a good balance with the earning expectations, with the pushing up and, a little bit of red and more green than red, then I believe we can still find that as a reason and excuse to continue to break out for RTY, and therefore breaking out of like a full year of consolidation and then creating a new trend here for RTY. So basically looking at the IWM, we're not going to trade RTY unless you trade futures, but you can definitely look for IWM and trade it above that 230. All right, so 228 to 230 is going to be a breakout entry all the way to that 234.50, and then we're going to continue to that 240, 245, and 250, and then 260. But this thing will have a intense amount of volume breakout, everything above all these levels of over the 230. It can be an aggressive movement. So make sure you guys keep this as your top watch. This is going to be the biggest mover for the futures coming into hopefully this week, depending on what the healthcare does, right? So Let's talk about airlines. Jets is right at that bottom. It's at the bottom of demand. It's literally hanging on by a limb right here at the 22, right? So Jets is the other one that I want to look at just because its trend has been trending down for the past 3 weeks and it hasn't shown any sign of recovery. So I am in leaps for Jets, DAL, and AAL. I have till 2023, but it's an investment that I took it as versus a day trade or a swing trade short term, right? Um, this thing needs to hold. It's very simple, right? We need to hold 22, otherwise we're just going to come back down to this 2150, and it can create a little more aggressive selling. So let's look at, yeah, Jet. So DAL, same thing. We need a lot of the strength from these tickers, guys. And I think these are the ones that are right now at the bottom at support of these channels. So again, this 3880, if we can't hold for DAL right here, we're just going to drop to the bottom of this 38 and potentially 3730. But I am going to go long over 3930 and then 40, from 40 all the way to 42. That's the way that I'm going to look at it, right? So I'm going to look for this for the break above, and then also for Jets to hold. Same thing for AAL. It's at a great spot. If we can't hold this 1890, I'm just going to give you 1890 as a level. If we can't hold 1890, then we're most likely going to squeeze in here and then just break down or pop to the top. The 1940 would be confirmation to go long all the way back into the 20 level. The UAL, same thing. If we can't hold this 4550, then for sure we're going to come crashing down all the way to this like 43, 44 level, as low as, yeah, 43, 44. And then otherwise, I want to go long and confirm over 47. So 46 to 47, if we can just build a base here, if we can create some momentum to the top with DAL and AAL leading, I think these are the better setups in my opinion. And some of these are, you know, bigger. They carry a lot more weight too in the RTY. So the sentiment is going to come from the airlines, right? And then also we have financials, which financials we're kind of cooling off, but we're still holding this nice trend and this nice breakout. So as you can see here, I have alerts right over that 4080 in the 41 area, just to make sure that we're trending up. I'm not trading the financials, but they are holding levels. So I just want to make sure that we're alerted as these things move, right? So like I said, I think Jets can give a lot more of a sentiment for the RTY along with the healthcare sector this week. So these are some of the top ones that I'm going to be watching: DAL, Jets, AAL, UAL, and then also BA. BA just gives you more of a sentiment for airlines. It's not part of the airlines. It's more of the manufacturing, believe it or not. But this again is at the last support, that 205. I think breaking the 205 is going to continue to drop even more. And same with the airlines. Jets, if they break, this thing will continue to the downside. But again, I'm looking for a base. I'm looking for buyers to step in. It's a great dip buy if you ask me. But again, I'm not going to go against more red than green. What I want to be able to do is catch a bottom and catch it to the top side, right? Kind of like we did with FDX, but we'll talk about FDX. So keep these in mind. Please, Jets, DAL, AAL, UAL. If you want to put LUV, SAVE, those tickers you can put on as well. And then BA, of course. All right, so look at that. I want to talk about solar just a bit as well. Solar, I did not have this on the watch list, but I did. I have this pattern here for the past 3 weeks. It's been trending up very aggressively. So it's on a nice staircase pattern if you want to keep on trading solar. I think solar's on a nice uptrend now, and it's going to go back up into those higher levels. So if you want to get a nice dip buy, do it around 90 or 95, whichever one you want to catch first, and then just catch the red candles. Okay. What else do we have here? We have ARC. All right, so here's another one too. Okay, since we have Tesla moving pretty aggressively, and let's just point out Tesla. We have Tesla pushing out and breaking out like crazy. So if you guys are trading Tesla, great job. I know I traded Tesla, was able to scalp here and there. And even those little scalps, you can make like 500 to like 1K per trade. That's how crazy it is. So with Tesla, look for whole numbers: 1130, 1140, 1150, 1160, 70, all the way to 12. People most likely are going to look for that 12. just because we passed that 11 and it's creating a huge breakout momentum and everything. So Tesla's on a nonstop beast. So careful if you're trading it, but good luck if you're making money, right? So anyways, because this is trending so much, I want to be able to look at ARK, and it's one of the bigger holdings for ARK as well. You guys sure do know Kathy Woods. Kathy Woods is the one who holds the ARK investments, and she has a lot of tickers in it. She has Roku, SQ, U, TDOC, a bunch of other ones, you know, I'm not going to name for you guys, but for sure look for the nice trend here. And what I want to see here is break that like 2270 all the way to like 125, 126, and then start looking at ARK for a nice trend change to continue to break above. So the breakout and trend change will happen right here at the 125 and 126. This is your bigger level to be alerted at. And just because of this, check this out. Maybe you're wondering why I had that line. So this is off the weekly time frame. So I want to look for more green into ARK and just continue to trend up as long as Tesla can hold the sentiment for it as well. So if you want to buy the dip, I would say buy it around 120. Your stop loss would be around like 119.50 or so. So look for that. The other one that I want to point out is XBI. This one has been accumulating down here for quite some time already, and it's more of the biotech. This is the ETF, you want to say. So I zoomed out on here just so you guys can see that 120, 122, 122.50 area. It's been holding a lot of demand. So if we can just break above this 125, I want to be able to go long again. If we don't break 125, I won't be looking at it until we come down here to this 122.30. So buy the dip down here with your stop loss right here. Very simple trade. Otherwise, we're going to go long over 125 just to see this come back up into this 128. Very simple trade right here with XBI. Very simple setup. It's following the ranges and respecting the hold and then the stop losses. So very simple trade, right? The other one is CAT. CAT was something that I've been following as well. I've been catching a lot of these plays. And then finally, we have earnings that are done and over with. So again, for this one would be over that 205.50. Yeah, 205.60. I would go long on CAT and then look for 215 on the bigger target. So if you wanted to swing from 205.50 to 215, I would trail it all the way. You know, once you're in the green 10, 20%, make sure your trail stop is moved up by percentage or by the chart, however you feel more comfortable. But just make sure you trail it, please. Don't come in here and say you're gonna buy here and then sell over there. Next thing you know, we drop overnight, we're at 200, and you're wondering why you didn't sell. So make sure to trail everything. So I'm looking for the bigger move for CAT like this. Okay, that's what I'm looking for CAT. I want to make sure we hold here. If we can't hold this 203.50, then we'll probably pull back into the 200. In that case, I'll probably buy the dip at 200. But 199 will be my stop loss. Okay, so if I don't get the break above 205.60, I'll get the dip buy at 200. So whichever one comes first, that's what I'm going to be buying at, right? FDX. All right. FDX, you guys know that we had this on the watch list like 2 weeks ago, and we did follow it all the way to the top, and we did swing it. So this one actually paid a good amount. We swung it from right here, this like 229, 230, all the way to this top of 240, which was pretty amazing. And now it looks like we kind of formed this like cup and handle type thing right here, and it's going to be on everybody's radar. And we are still downtrending, right? So take that into consideration. But this time we're downtrending with the nice cup and handle pattern. And if you look on the daily, this is a nice gap as well. But I personally like the 4 hour just because it shows all the details and all the price action. And so in this case, what I want to be able to do here is grab it around 230 and 229. Okay. If we trend to the downside, which it will create that that handle, and then the break above would probably be into next week or so. If we do get a break above this 238 and 240, then for sure this thing is going to keep trending up into that 250. So look out for FDX to do that. If this thing, like I said, if it respects this channel, I want to do this. I want to buy it down here, and I want to ride it all the way to that 250, whichever one comes first. Either buy the dip down here at 230, 229, or we take the break above that 240. If you want to get an early entry, I would say take it right here around that 237, 238. All right, so that's going to be for FDX. Watch out for the gap fill and for the cup and handle to play out all the way to that 250. MDB is the other one that I wanted to take a look at, just because it held these all-time highs. And yeah, I know you guys always hear me say that I always look for reversals and things like that, but when the setup is there, the setup is there for an all-time high break. And if it's going to continue, then for sure we want to be able to grab a continuation play for an all-time high. In this case, it's MDB. Why did it catch my attention? Because first and foremost, we held this whole level right here. So we built a base right below an all-time high, which was a 525. We had all week to either get rejected aggressively or break above. It did neither. So we kind of closed flat inside. What that tells me is that there's still buyers interested in MDB, and this thing has potential to break out. So what do you look for when it's all-time high? You look for whole numbers, like I said. You want to look for 525, 530, 535, 540. Okay, so trade some weekly contracts. I think MDB has some bigger spreads. I think they're a little bit wider too. So it's more of a higher risk. It's more for anybody who has a bigger portfolio. So see, look, 930, 1050, that's a big spread. So the minute you get in, you might be red automatically. So that's the high risk here, and it's a high risk because it's at all-time high, and there's not a lot of crazy reward, but you can still day trade it. The reason I have this, it's because the setup is there. The setup is there. It's holding value at these all-time highs, and once we break that 525, it's going to go to 530, from 530 to 535, from 535 to 540. In this case, I'll be able to trade a $5 move, knowing that I'm able to enter and then take profit on the $5 move and be happy with the trade. So that's the one thing that I'm going to look for MDB. I already have my alert set, and that's going to be my side play for my bigger account, since I won't be playing this with a 1K, right? Anything for the Jets, DAL, AAL, and UAL, this is all 1K size accounts. CAT and FDX are kind of like medium size. You can definitely swing trade just because the contracts are like $4 to $5. Let's go with November 12th. So yeah, they're not bad. Oh, $3 to $2, so $200. So it's not bad. And then Facebook, of course, I think people are just gonna day trade weeklies on this. So have fun with Facebook, guys. The contracts are pretty expensive for the weeklies, but it's worth trading Facebook just because it's gonna be very volatile. It's gonna be a lot of volume. It's gonna be a lot of hype behind it as well. So it's going to be a mixture of all kinds of stuff. Just be careful when you trade it. Make sure you respect your stop loss and don't lose too much on it, right? So yeah, those are some of the tickers to look out for, guys. That's going to be on my weekly watch list. And then as well, another all-time high would be Google. Breaking this high to 2970. I think we're going to see that 300, that 3K mark on Google. Google's just been an amazing run, so there's no reason why that shouldn't hit the 3K by the end of the week. So look out for some of these plays, guys. Look for Apple continuation. Look for Amazon to see if it can recover from that earnings beatdown that it had. So yeah, look for some patterns, guys. But other than that, I think that's going to be the weekly watch list. Today is Halloween, guys. So happy Halloween to all you guys. Go enjoy your families. Go enjoy those candies out there, whatever you guys got to do, parties, haunted houses, all that. Just be safe out there, guys. But enjoy yourselves. Come back into the week, come back strong, come back focused. And it's going to be a new month into tomorrow. So it's going to be the first, and we'll be able to start a fresh new month. If you guys want to start over, reset your accounts to 1K, 2K, and start all over. Test yourself before the end of the year. We have 2 months left, and we have 2 months to do the best we can and build consistency, right? Not about how much money you're making, but how much you're learning and applying and growing. And that's what's going to lead into success into the next year. So next year you have a fresh start. So get your accounts ready, guys, for next year. Set yourselves up for success. Don't set yourselves up for failure, thinking that you can come in here and just make tons of money before the year is over, right? Don't think you're going to try to catch up within these next 2 months, to get your P&L from red to green. Like, it doesn't work that way, okay? But either way, come back in strong. Look for these nice setups that we see value in. FDX, CAT, DAL, AAL. A lot of these are going to be swing trades. MDB is going to be a day trade. Facebook day trade. DA day trade. ARC is going to be a nice swing trade as well. So look out for some of these guys. The market offers a lot of value, and the market is going to give us some good plays and momentum plays and all that stuff. So be aware, guys, we're at all-time highs. So any pullback can be aggressive. Just don't get too scared, right? So other than that, guys, you guys enjoy the week. And I will see you guys on Wednesday with some new content. All right. So make sure to like and subscribe to Conservative Collectors. And for sure, I will see you guys on Wednesday.